Bro, did you miss me?
Missed you, bro.
Did you? Or did you enjoy the break?
No, I enjoyed my break.
To be fair, you didn't really have a break. I kept sending you stuff to film from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, but the weather is... Yeah, the weather is... There's not a nice word I can think about it, so I'm just gonna not say the word. Things I missed.
Making your
Coffee machine. My red light. I'm not even kidding, dude. Like, I miss my flat. Like the nature vibe that I've created. It's like you've just created your version of your little home. I definitely missed it. Missed the mountains. Missed my girlfriend, my family. No.
Hey, that's not so bad.
Huh?
Are you wearing the cooling in band?
Yeah, it's probably the wrong weather. Back in South African winter, dog. Boy, I haven't even prepped. No, alright, we are back. It's been a while. I have been here, there, and everywhere, and I'm finally back home after, a big trip. And the reason I'm wearing this headband is because I am flippin' proud to announce that Omnius is the sponsor of this video and have been the sponsor of this campaign. They came on board. I bought this headband. I've bought 3 of these. Reason being because I'm a absolute tot and I've lost 2 in the past. But you can go look back. I've raced it in Paris. So I've bought this headband prior to even working with them. You race with it in anything, honestly, anything above 15 degrees Celsius, and it's a good shout because our body's optimum temperature to function at is below 15 degrees. So I use it for every single race, even if it's a cool race, and it really does work. So when they reached out to be a partner and sponsor my campaign, it was pretty surreal. So yeah, this video is sponsored by Omnius. I will put a link in the description for you to go buy it. I think it's an incredible tool. You know, if you can keep your body temperature down while racing and training, you're able to get a lot more out of yourself. So thank you, Omnius. So Cairns update. I came from San Francisco. I did the T100. I was fighting jet lag. I was all over the place, but I really honestly did feel good in race week, and I felt pumped. I was probably the most excited I've ever been to race a race in my life. And I think the excitement stemmed from the optimism and of the opportunity and the optimism of what could be. Each time I think I'm getting a little bit closer. So you can imagine, like, having that in the back of your head saying, like, this might be my moment to really show what I'm capable of. I got really pumped. So, but anyways, yeah, the day started. My strategy, stalk first place or second place until the last couple kilometers in the run. I am fully confident in my swimming, in my biking, in my running to take on anyone in this list. Obviously, Matt Hansen, 2:30 marathon runner, like, I wouldn't say like a head-to-head would be great, but for it to be a head-to-head, he would have had to exert a lot of energy to get back up to me. I don't know how that would have played out. Doesn't matter. It didn't end up playing out. But I just felt confident in that strategy. And of course, like, super pumped. Race starts and boom, off the bat, I'm like 10 meters ahead. I'm not going 100%. I have a natural talent to get really low on the start line, to be really in the zone, reaction time, and I'm off. I have a talent for this. I've had a talent for this my whole life. I'm always out first in the gates. So it's nothing new to me. And once I established that 10-meter gap, I look back and I wanted Josh to come with me. I wanted Matthew Marcotte to be there, and I wanted Braden Curry. So I wanted guys to be there with me. I established that gap, and I started to look back every third stroke, kind of backstroke, because I was swimming what felt like 40% effort for me, trying to like get them to come to me, but also be enough of a stretch to make sure that they don't bring guys like, even though Nick's a good friend, like Nick and these guys, because I would like a little bit of a buffer. And it took them quite a while to get up to me, and once they got up to me, I realized that they were really stretched out, and it was literally just Josh, Amberger, and Matthew Marcotte, which I wasn't too mad at. I was still fine with this. And then, like, I said, okay, well, I'm not going to pull the swim, and I went into the feet, and it was just too slow. So I was a bit too frustrated the whole swim. I was like kind of like surging the pace. When I went in front, I wanted to make sure that I was still taking energy out of the other guys, but still bringing them with. Like, I was trying to be very strategic in the swim. However, did it hurt me? Didn't it hurt me? it felt very easy for me. Like the swim really felt like a 5 RPE effort at the max. Got out the swim first, fastest swim of the day, and I felt incredible, like running in. I felt so good getting onto the bike, and I was just like, I was in the zone, and like I was really, really pumped. And I got onto the bike and immediately got to work, but off the bat, like straight separation to Josh. And I can only assume that's a strategic play on his move to just be like, no, I'm just going to, whatever, 280 watts it until they catch me. But I got to understand at that moment in time, I don't know where Matthew is. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know that he's, fighting cramps in the transition, which really affected how the race was going to play out, because I really felt strongly that me and Matthew could have worked together. Him being a bigger guy, he would give me the draft that I needed, even at 12 meters. And we could have, that was kind of the A plan, I would say. It's so confusing, dude, because Ironman's really difficult, especially how the course was designed. Like, I got no information. So you can imagine I've dropped Josh. In my mind, I'm not thinking Matthew is fighting. I'm like, I've dropped Matthew. And I'm looking back the whole time and I'm like, where is everyone? And like, yeah, sure, I'm pushing good watts. I think for the first half an hour, I pushed 315. But I just say, okay, you know what? Just eventually I decided, okay, just keep racing. And I can only really get my next split at like 40 an hour into the race, into the bike. So 2 hours into the race. And I felt great, incredible. The watts came so easy. I was on top of my nutrition. Everything was going according to plan. Took the turn, and I saw everyone had kind of come together in that second pack. There was just a big pack of these guys. And then I saw Matthew was not in this group, so I was like, okay, something's going on with him. But everyone else is there. Nick Thompson, my best mate, we had a strategy. We knew how it was going to play out, and the strategy was for him to attack the group and make it up to me, so we could go ahead. And that played out pretty much perfectly. I cycled at a tempo that was strong enough to stay away from the main group, but easy enough that he would be able to bridge the gap. And once we made the next turn that we could see everything, I saw that he had broken away. And that is when the boys, the boy band, the bromance regrouped, and we kind of got together and we knew what we wanted to do, He came to me and he looked at me and he said 5-5, which means he's going to take 5 minutes, I'm going to take 5 minutes, and we're going to tear this race apart. And at that point in time, I was still 100% all good halfway through the ride. Prior to this, I'd been now cycling 90k solo, and what I was doing is to try break it up. I was doing, which I've spoken about this on the on Ogcast, our podcast, but essentially I did 30 minutes at 305 watts, 30 minutes at 290, 25 at 305, 25. So I was doing over unders, very minuscule difference. To cut a long story short, Nick and I got together and we started pushing. But behind Nick Thompson, this guy is basically lies on the ground, it feels like, and you get very little draft, but that's besides the point. At about 150 Ks, the lights just went out, and I was so confused because Nick, at that 150k mark, we had now pulled a lot of time on the group. He looked back at me and he said, like, are we good? And I was like, I wasn't feeling incredible, but I was still, what felt within, and I was just like, let's go. And then like within 2Ks, the lights went out like never before. For 3.5 hours, I was averaging like 295, maybe 300 watts normalized power. For the last hour, I did 215. 215 watts is less than an easy ride for me. And I was literally out the saddle trying to get push watts, and there was no like loss of energy. It was just my legs kind of turned to lead. Like it just felt like there was no more muscles in my legs. It was kind of loss of, I can't explain that sort of feeling, and I've never had that sort of feeling in the past. Yeah, that last hour was the toughest and deepest mental low I've experienced in a race. Like, and you're thinking that you're going to get off this bike and you're going to run a 2:35 marathon, and this is going to be a statement, and you're going to pick up the money, the 400,000 Rand, 500,000 Rand, you're going to pick up the points, you're going to be back in the pro series, all these sorts of things. And then in a glimpse of a moment, you're just like, bah, and you're fighting for your life and you think you're not even going to finish the damn race. Like, that is a deep, dark hole. And it's just like this 50k an hour headwind, and yeah, first Ben Hill comes flying past me and I try jump on and I'm like, nothing. Matthew comes past me flying past and I'm like, where's this Terminator come from? And anyways, essentially what had happened on that bike ride, like the thing that I say about Ironman is it's so weird. It's like, because of the distance and the intensity we do it at, I really truly feel like your body goes into defensive mode, feeling like maybe it's gonna die. Because your body doesn't know what you're doing, but it's like we're losing way too much calories, way too much nutrition. Our heart's been pumping for way too long. Like, this is not what a human is supposed to do. So it's a very weird, interesting place. So I wouldn't say there was a point where I said, I am not going to finish this race. But subconsciously, I was like, yeah, this is definitely, I'm not finishing this race. I got off the bike, I ran in, and I even remember, like, I was so delirious that I crashed running into my bike. I broke my bike actually, and I was lying on the floor there for like 10-15 seconds, and the crowd was screaming at me like to get up, and I was like, I probably need to get up now, right? Anyways, I got up and I walked through the transition, and I sat there in T2, and I was just like sitting like this, and then the guy comes next to me, and like I'm literally like, yeah, bro, like good luck, like I'm done, I can't do this. I'm so delirious. I'm sitting there. The guy, I know that the volunteer is talking to me, and I'm like, I can't take anything in. I gather myself, I go to the bathroom, I'm sitting in the bathroom, I'm like, yeah, this ain't happening. I walk out, I put on my watch, and I'm just walking out. I walk about 500 meters to 1K of the run. I think apparently I lost in the first 1K, I lost another like 3 minutes to the guys just from walking. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of do like just a lap just to pay my respects to the crowd and just get through, and then pull off. That was like the not a decision I made, but that was what it was feeling like that was gonna happen. And then this is the weird part. I started running. Once I started running, it's like you enter into a flow state. I entered a flow state, but it wasn't a nice flow state. It was extremely, like, not scary, but like you're in such an unknown. You're so far removed from your ability to make decisions or to react. Like, people were trying to high five me, talk to me, and I just felt like a robot, a zombie, just like in the flow. And in that moment, like, I really believe that everything that you are and everything that you want to be kind of like overflows out of you, and you something else takes over, and whatever you are on the deeper level, or whatever you want to be on the deeper level comes out, because you don't have the ability to pull the plug, or at least that's what it felt like for me. Because if we go based off that, I should have definitely pulled the plug. And I just said, okay, you know what, running way too quickly for everything that's gone on, but I was just like, just lean into it, like keep leaning into the unknown, keep leaning, just keep going, just step after step after step. The ability to understand how long I was running for, the ability to understand kilometers, it had all been removed. It was literally like, walk the aid station, Coke, I started Coke from 2Ks in, Coke, electrolyte, water, ice, run to the next aid station. And I was averaging, for 30 Ks, I was averaging 340 per kilometer while walking 8 stations. Every time I looked at my watch, I was running 330 per K. But because I was walking, it would go down. But that was just that's what was happening. That is how it was. And I didn't have the ability to say, okay, I should probably jog through the 8 stations slow. I was just like, felt like I was just, and then the momentum changed, bro. And then all of a sudden it just started coming in. Everyone saw me from basically crawling out of T2 to being the fastest move on course outside of Matt Hansen, which was 15 minutes back. So it didn't really matter. And then the crowd just started coming. Now you're 5 minutes behind second, 4 minutes behind seconds with 6Ks to go. And I'm just like, just go. And, but please understand that the way I say it sounds a lot more glamorous than it is. Like, the whole time you're just on the verge of like imploding. 4Ks to go, bro. I was a minute ahead of fourth, and I had third in the bag, and that was like my how do you say, consolation prize? Like my, okay, at least you got a podium.
Yeah.
And bro, in one step, my right foot just cramped and like went from this, like seized like that, and I was like, never had a foot cramp in my life. Next step, left foot, and there was a crowd there, and they're like, oh, and I just started walking, and I started jogging, and then the guy came past, and there was no fight in me. And then the last 3Ks, bro, I promise you, I was literally there just like running 5 minutes per K, just crawling to the line. Like, it was really, and then obviously you saw like I just fell over the line head in the ground, and got taken off by the wheelchair, got put it in the medics, and spent like the next hour and a bit there, and then I kind of went to my room and sulked the rest of the day. Yeah, so I really want to try and touch on like a few lessons that I learned about that Ironman, because that is something that the viewers can take away.
I feel like you have such high expectations, but then again, it's still only your second Ironman.
Yeah, no.
You still have so much to learn, and like everything just adds up, and you're getting better each race.
Yeah, and that's like maybe one of the lessons that I learned is like, it's obviously a test of like how good you are at swim, bike and run. It's probably one of the truest tests of that, but it's more than that. Like it's way more than that, because I'm pretty sure not many of the guys can run a 29-minute 10K, and I can, but that doesn't correlate to a 2:30 marathon. So there's so much more to an Ironman than just meets the eye, and that's like the first lesson. And that leads into the second lesson, which is I am not training well enough for an Ironman athlete. Now what I mean here is like I haven't done a week longer than 22 hours this year. And I don't, like, between Ironman South Africa and this Ironman, I did one long ride longer than 4 hours. The rest have all been 3 hours. I haven't done a long run. Like, I just haven't done the workload and the training that an Ironman requires. Like, and winning your second ever Ironman, it would be great, but like when I do win my Ironman, it's going to be so much more sweet because of these experiences. The other lesson I learned is you can't be too excited for an Ironman. You know, morning of a race, I'm flipping pumping myself up. Like, it's almost like you gotta have that, and like, but you gotta be able to harness that energy. You gotta be able to like be within yourself. I think that's something that I also learned. And then obviously like another thing is like you always have more. Like you always have more, and I'm sure like after Ironman South Africa, I really thought I had no more to go. And like I even prayed before this race, please Lord, let me not have to dig that deep. And then I ended up digging deep, and I'm sure that there is another level to that. I don't see a world how I could have gone deeper. I really don't. But like just the fact of I was down and out in T2, and I got out there and I was like, no, lean into the unknown, lean into the unknown. And there was just always more. There was just always more. And I just kept going, and I ran my way faster than Ironman. So I ran on my watch. I ran 2:42 because I only started after my walk. So I ran 2:42. After that, I was pretty pumped, and I know I can get down to 2:30 lows. So we'll get there. And yeah, like now, what's happening now? So I've taken it's 10 days out. I've done nothing, absolutely nothing, and that's perfectly fine. I'm taking a mid-season break. I said on my Instagram reel that like I have come to understand that the best way for me to get back into training, the quickest way possible and the most effective way possible, is to do nothing until I gather the gratitude to go back out and train. Sounds weird, sounds spiritual, it's not that deep. It's more just saying like, if I come from all this big massive highs and racing, and I come back to work and I'm like, okay, I have to train now. I'll train, but it's not going to be effective. And the problem is it's just going to roll into I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm going to get agitated, frustrated, a bit sad, and it's just going to roll. Whereas now, like, I'm like slowly starting to itch and be like, okay, like you can only be so unproductive. For me, like I'm at that point now where I'm just like, yeah, no, like I'm ready to get after it. Like, and I think I will start training probably tomorrow. And once again, thank you, Omnius, you guys. Yeah, you guys really came in clutch for this trip. It really did help, and it is such a dream partnering with a brand that you've already bought their products prior to them reaching out. And if they don't want to work with me again, I'm still going to be wearing the band. So it's really cool. And to the viewer out there, like if you are 50-50 on whether you should get one of these, honestly, like it does work. It cools you down. And if that's what you're looking for, this is what you need to get. So it's in the description. Go purchase one. Much love. Please subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff.